It has been nearly 2 weeks since Gulfport, Mississippi police shot and killed 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan. His family, they want answers, and some of that may come when police release the body cam footage of the shooting. Witnesses say that McMillan was walking out of a store when the officers shot him. Police say the teen had a gun. Witnesses say he was unarmed. The conflicting stories push protesters to demand that police have transparency by releasing the body cam footage taken the day that he was shot. Now, on Saturday, Black Lives Matter Mississippi and the Mississippi Rising Coalition held a rally to demand justice for Jahiem. Mississippi Public Safety Director Sean Tindell says footage will be released to the public once the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation analyzes the footage. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump and Jaheim's mother, Katrina Mateen, are here joining us right now. I'm glad to have both of you here. First of all, Ms. Mateen, sorry for your son's loss. All too often we have to talk to mothers like yourself in these situations. First and foremost, again, this took place 2 weeks ago. How were you alerted as to what took place between Gulfport police and your son on that fateful day?
A friend of the family called me and said that my son has been shot.
Obviously, it is still a lot to deal with. You are in the midst of having to plan his funeral for this weekend. I want to pull up Ben Crump now, and Ms. Mateen, I'll give you an opportunity to certainly gather yourself. And it's very difficult, obviously, to have to talk about these shootings when it's still so fresh and you still haven't buried your son. Ben Crump, I'm trying to understand, for them to say that they're waiting to analyze the footage, it happened 2 weeks ago. How long does it take to analyze body cam footage?
You know, Roland, as I watched Katrina just agonize over this tragedy, her 15-year-old son killed by the very people who are supposed to protect and serve her. We know, Roland, this is the playbook. They delay in hopes that people will forget about it and they can sweep it under the rug. But thank God for Katrina, her family, and the activists demanding transparency. We're going to file a public records lawsuit to release the video. Now, states like Mississippi and Alabama, their Supreme Courts fight to say you don't get any transparency, but they cannot deny people like you, Roland, and us continuing to fight in the court of public opinion to say, if you have nothing to hide, why don't you release the video? Because we all know, Roland Martin, we've been doing this too long, that if that video showed Jahiem with a gun, they would have already released it and it'll be all over the news by now.
This reminds me of the case that you were involved with in Houston, again, where cops said one thing, and once the body cam footage came out, it showed that the young man did not have a gun, and how the police rolled up. And so you're absolutely right. Again, we showed the video last week of the police chief sharing his information, but again, to sit here and say we're almost 2 weeks away. The family is preparing to bury this young man, and they still have not shown that. And you're right; it's very simple. If he had a gun, as they say he did, then the video should clearly show that.
Yeah, and Roland Martin, you know, Attorney Monique Preston and I, we argued and fought to get the video released in Houston, Texas. With Joshua Feast, we're going to have to do that with Jaheim McMillan, but the other thing that is just outrageous is once they had shot him in the head, they then put him in handcuffs. You know, why didn't they try to give him medical assistance? Why do they have to treat our children like animals? I mean, clearly at that point, he's no threat. He's no way putting you in fear. Why don't you try to help save his life, preserve his life? Why aren't you using your training and professionalism for this black life? Why do you treat it as if it has no value? Where is the humanity? And I think that's why Katrina's having such a difficult time when she processes it all. And we just have to continue to pray for the family and fight for justice for Jahiem.
Katrina, obviously, whenever these cases happen, police, they have one perspective. They how to try to frame who the individual was. For folks who don't know, tell them who your son Jahiem was.
Jahiem, he was a lovable person. He was a good brother. And he loved his friends. My son he was not disrespectful.
Well, I want folks to understand that, again, when these things happen, Ben Crump, these are human beings. These are individuals who are children, who are nephews, nieces, cousins, siblings, and they're simply not just another random case. And I think it's important for folks to understand that they also go beyond just being a hashtag. And I totally understand it is very difficult for Katrina to have to talk about her son in the past tense, if you will, because he's lost his life. And that's one of the points that I consistently say, Ben, you can't come back from death. And too often we've seen where force was used, unfortunately, taking the lives of many young black men. And that's why it is important for police to be forthright and honest about what took place at that particular convenience store that led to the death of Jaheim McMillan. Ben, final comment.
Roland, thank you for continuing to put a spotlight on Jaheim McMillan. Obviously, Gulfport police is acting as if he doesn't matter, but you can see to Katrina, he matters, to their family, to their community matters. And thank God, Roland Martin, for you and the audience of people all over America who watch your show every day, especially black people. Let's continue to fight to get to truth and transparency. So hopefully we can get justice for Jahiem. That's what Katrina wants more than anything, that her son's death will not be in vain, and that these who killed him, I mean, he's 15 years old, for God's sake, should be held accountable for taking him from this earth far, far too soon.
Indeed. Ben Crump, we surely appreciate it. Katrina, thank you so very much for joining us. Again, I know how difficult this is for you and your family, and we certainly will continue to cover this story and to see it through and to get the transparency and justice that you and others are looking for.
Okay.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.